19th to order. The agenda is there. Could I get a motion to adopt the agenda, please?
So moved.
For a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried. Committees of Council, Min and Finance, Council Power.
Thank you, Your Worship. I guess this meeting is called as a result of some developments over the past number of weeks, actually, where we find that we're actually eligible to submit an application under the current Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program. And I know over the past number of years, we've been trying to get some movement on some sidewalks in the area. So to that end, I'm pleased to put a motion forward that the Town of Torbay proceed with an application to the Department of Municipal Affairs and Environment for consideration under the Investing in Infrastructure Program. The application will total $2.3 million. The initiative being submitted for consideration is the installation of sidewalks from Balleen Line to Juniper Ridge Intermediate School and the Town Hall Centre to Wingly Meal Line. So moved.
Second.
Mover, seconder.
Your Worship, I think this is absolutely great news for the town, and I personally am ecstatic about it because when the last motion came forward, I voted against because we weren't leveraging our funds, and this gives us the ability to leverage funds. So for our portion of $766,000, we'll get the benefit of $2.3 million in total funding to actually go almost at least half of what we had budgeted originally for sidewalks, and it's certainly a great start. Thank you, Your Worship.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd like to say something because I understood, unless she had a different meeting or something at one time, that we were talking about the two schools, the elementary school here, and you know, we have the. I didn't even know that the town hall centre. Well, you know, eventually that would go in there. But I understood at that time, and from us talking the other day, that it was still going to be that way, that it would be from a certain place to the, and now, well, I understand that we can't do that part because it's very expensive because of the road needs to be redone to get it safer. The pathway or whatever the children walk on, it falls away when it rains. So, but I think that at least it should be done from, say, probably at the end of PJ's store or the other end of PJ's store, and include the elementary school. Then come on down here to whatever, and then start up there at Juniper River. I'm all for that. I really am pleased about it and all that stuff. But I really understood, or maybe I misunderstood, and that's why I sent out the emails today to give my opinion on it. And it is only my opinion, you know, and I'm not trying to be funny or anything like that, or queer, or whatever way he wants to say it, you know. I really genuinely believe that we should be able to take that 2.3 million and half it, you know, and then apply next year again for more funding, or start now and apply for it, and then we'll finish off then whatever's in between or to be left and whatever like that. But yes, I think it's great for the whole town. It's wonderful to see people driving their children to school, or if you're going to work in town or anything, well, you'll see children walking on the roads, the sides of the road, especially when it's recess or lunchtime. And the first place they go is that way when they're this area, and of course over there they'll be going to the, you know, a different place too. So I'm all for and I think that we're very fortunate to be awarded this amount of money, seeing as how there was such little to divvy up between all the towns this year. So I will support the motion to accept the money or to apply for the money and that. But I was wondering if we could rejig, you know, from the town hall centre to move it over as far as the elementary school. Is that far away? I know it's millions of dollars away, I suppose. I'm just trying to see how there could be a really good, because the children over there, I mean, it's really bad.
Where you?
It's right on the road.
Right. I guess to answer that question, when we met here the other night, we made two decisions. One was that we were going to apply to this program for the sidewalks, and the other one that we would send our engineering consultant, Clooney, away and to come up with the best options that we could maximize the dollar value for the residents. And he came back with this particular option. It addresses a few items, particularly the new lights that we need for the fire department, which is a serious safety issue as well. So I think that the fact that I know, since I've been here for 6 years, we've been trying to apply to get some government partnership to do sidewalks in the town, and we've never been able to get it before.
Yes.
And the fact that we have this now, it's in our best interest to maximize the benefit from it. And of course, until we go with the tender, this is a application. It's not necessary, it still has to go to the federal government to get approved. Hopefully that will happen.
Yes.
And until we actually go to tender and we see what the costs come back, we might have some flexibility there to do more, or we might not be able to do as much. But it's a significant amount of money. And
But
it's
at least we're
1/3.
starting.
Yeah,
I'm
at
sorry,
least we're
I'm not
starting,
gonna debate you
and
about
I
it.
know that, anyway, I'm not gonna speak no more on it, but that's just, I just wanted to give a synopsis, I guess, of our decision-making process from our meeting the other night about what it was that we decided that we were gonna do. And I know that, anyway, I'll leave it at that.
Okay, now I'll leave it at that too, because I understand, I read the emails from Clooney, and I was kind of like, that's what got me started on my emails then to you guys. And if everybody is happy with that, I'll be happy with it too, because we got to do something, and we got the opportunity now to do it. And so maybe in our great design, before it's all finished, we might have it all, see where we're going next time, maybe this way or that way, whatever. Okay?
Thank you.
I got to say my 2 cents worth.
Absolutely.
Because I don't say too much, but now I'm getting a voice. Thank you very much, and I think it's great that we got this now, and thanks to the governments and our MHA and Clooney Mercer. He's the deputy minister, is he?
No, he's our engineering
Oh,
consultant.
he's our engineer, sorry, see? That's why I don't say too much sometimes.
Right.
And to the minister.
Okay,
I
thank
think
you.
that was great.
Thank
I'm
you.
not shutting up, am I?
Anyone else?
You go ahead.
Councilor Martin, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to express I will support the motion. I know since I started council, from protective services with Councillor Gallant, public safety up till now, I know it's always been on our radar. Sidewalks, I know I've seen an article recently saying we just revisited it, but it's always been on our radar, and this is a prime example. And I would like to thank MHA Parsons and Minister Bragg for their assistance. It was certainly good bipartisan collaboration on their behalf. I know Minister Bragg mentioned the other night that Cape St. Francis got the same allowance that his district did, so that was good as well. And public safety is paramount. And while where we implement it may not be a discussion point tonight, I'm sure that everyone has their own objective of where it should and shouldn't go, but this is certainly a start, and eventually we'll get our start and finish points reached. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Worship. I'm ecstatic. I am so excited about the opportunity for this application. I'm over the moon. I think that I'd like to join my fellow council members for MHA to have worked as hard as he did, to reach out to the minister, to bring him in, to coordinate the meeting, to help us along the way to get this put together, to our staff for the very quick turnaround from Monday evening to have the application ready to go in tomorrow, to fellow council members who have worked very hard to make sure that we did our absolute best to apply for funding, get resources, get the studies done, do all the work that we did. I'm over the moon excited about the opportunity to submit this application for $2.3 million for sidewalks for the town of Torbay. Absolutely excited. I think it's really important to touch on the point that Councillor Pollard did. We, the taxpayer, pay 1/3 of this cost, and 2/3 of the cost is coming from provincial and federal government. And the fact that we are leveraging the resources and that all levels of government are working together for the people in this region is absolutely amazing. So I think that's very important for us. I think that I'd also like to thank the residents, because the residents are the one who've been pushing the envelope and very clear with us on the platforms where they feel comfortable to communicate, to go, we need sidewalks. And even when we shared this, we shared that we had that meeting, does that include sidewalks? So I'm very excited about this. I'm going to be supporting this motion strongly. And I just want to make sure that it's recognized, the hard work of our member of the House of Assembly and what he's done to help put this together as well, because that's greatly appreciated. And the same for the minister to come down and meet with us. That was great as well. So thank you, everyone, and looking forward to getting this application in. That's it for me.
Councillor Ross.
I have one question that I put in an email today to Don, and I just want to know if there's any flexibility in this. I know this is the application, but once the funding is approved, do we have to go with what we have here, or can we tweak it at some point down the road?
That would be a discussion with the government at the time, and I would assume that there would be motions of council required to that, but I can't say one way or the other. They asked for very specific parameters in the application and the site, the cost and everything, but to Mayor's point with tender process and estimates, if there is slippage or extra funds, or if we wanted to add additional funds to it, I'm sure government would be open to that.
Thank you. Now, while I understand your reasoning for, I guess, with the area that's been selected, I know and I want to emphasize the fact that there are a number of other locations, especially from Mans Lane up to PJ's, that is in dire straits of needing to be done, as well as over at the end of the Balling line. So I want to put that out there and to say that I understand fully where this is coming from, and to be able to maximize the amount of money that we have to be able to put in the larger amount of sidewalks. And I think that this is really great. Looking back at it, I guess I was frowned upon there a while back when I voted against the motion for sidewalks from Juniper Ridge down to the end of Balling line. But I knew somewhere along the way that there would be money available, that this is not something that should be taken on the backs of taxpayers, the sole responsibility. So I am delighted to get in partnership with the federal and provincial government to go forward with this motion. And I'd like to say a special thanks to our MHA. Without this, we wouldn't be going through with the application, and to Minister Bragg, and of course to our Clooney Mercer, who's worked very closely with the staff over the last few days, scrambling to try to put this together, although we had our homework done. So this is really great. And I was thinking of him today, Tommy Hall, Dr. Hall, and I can't believe that he actually walked in, so.
Still same patients.
Anyway, needless to say, I'll be supporting this, and I'm very delighted with being able to move forward. We've basically touched on most things now in our strategic plan, so all good.
Thank you. Councillor Lane.
All right. Thank you, Council, for making this a reality. I suppose it's not, the money's not here yet, but from I guess our understanding that this is a fairly solid application. It's been a lot of years fighting for sidewalks on Torbay Road. It's been Councillor Roach knows, been Councillor, or I guess Dr. Hall knows as well. We fought for that for a long time. It's been years doing this, and I'm just really glad that we're finally going to have this done. And again, this talking about going from our new school to our new recreation center. For me, it's all about those kids who are walking age, who are out, getting out of the basements, getting away from the TVs, getting out in the community, going to our programming, and having a safe way to get back and forth. It's just it's momentous, and I don't want to reiterate too much, I guess, what everyone else has said, but just wanted to thank everyone involved and thank all the council for their votes to support this the installation of sidewalks along Torway Road. Thank you so much.
All right, I guess I'll say a couple of words to this. This is very good news for us. And I know that council, and myself in particular, I put myself out there when we did our budget, that for me, in the next 2 years, sidewalks was going to be a priority. And I think that what gets lost in this is we had made an application for water treatment and it didn't quite qualify, or there wasn't enough money in this fund to be able to do that project. And our MHA lobbied on our behalf to be able to put in another application. And the minister, Gollum, came through for us to be able to put this in by Friday. And this is pretty short turnaround because we only met with them Tuesday night and now today is Thursday. So I'm very hopeful that once it gets moved off to the federal government that they'll approve it and it'll come back and we'll be able to get started on this. I know that for council, it's part of our strategic plan, so we were always committed to it. You know, sometimes people feel that because you don't do something right away or sometimes you take a decision like we did when we canceled the tender for the last piece, that you're not committed. But we also had to remember that not only are we committed to doing this, but we also need to be committed to making sure that we leverage our money and get the best value for our taxpayers. And I think this is an excellent start. And now that we're going to have the framework in place, we're going to get this thing done, and then we'll be able to do the extra little piece, do this bit, until we have it running from one end of the town to the other. And, you know, and we also talked about the other night was the area by the drugstore, which is by the doctor's office. That's a dangerous area as well. And hopefully, when we're all done before this term of council is finished, we'll have those sidewalks finished from Mans Lane to Juniper Ridge like we committed in our strategic plan. And I think that this is a step forward in the right direction and exactly where we want to go. I'm not too worried about where exactly we're starting. The fact that we're starting is the most important part for me. So I know that council supports this. I know that our residents are going to support it. And I'm really looking forward to when those comes back, that it's approved and we can go to tender and then start really working on it. And until people see shovels in the ground, it's always hard to I guess even convince yourself that this is actually going to get done. But this is the closest that we've come since I've been here for 6 years. We've been trying to get partner funding, as Councillor Zorngas had mentioned, and this is the first time we've able to do it for sidewalks. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm encouraged, and I thank MHA Parsons and Minister Bragg for the work they did on this. So with that, I'll send it back to the chair.
Thank you, Your Worship. Again, just I guess I'll finish off by saying that I think it's important that people realize why we chose certain areas. It's sort of a jigsaw puzzle, and we had so much money we had to fit, so obviously we try to get the bang for the buck. So we asked our engineers to go back and actually try to maximize the return that they could get from the known dollar value that was there. So while it might not necessarily be everybody's first choice of place to put sidewalks, it what gives us the best bang for the buck with this short time frame we had to do it, and to fit that $2.3 million. I think that's really great. So, George.
All right, we'll call a question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And I think when they start, you should be the first one out there with the shovel, and a photographer, newest
right.
person should be out there to get your picture.
Q&A session. Is there anybody here that would like to ask a question or pass a comment? Go ahead, Catherine.
I just have a couple of quick questions.
Microphone.
So, I don't understand, the town had an application for water treatment.
Oh, can you come up to the microphone, please?
The town had an application in for a water
Turn that. Can you turn that?
The town had an application in for a water treatment plant
Yeah.
initially, is that right?
Yeah.
And what happened? I don't understand.
Under this particular fund, there wasn't that type of job can't be done. It's a design build, so the project has to be approved all or nothing. It could be done in phases,
Oh,
but it has to
okay.
be, and under this particular program, there wasn't that capacity.
Yeah, so there wasn't enough money in this program for that. It cost too much to do wastewater treatment and the
Or that was water
water treatment.
treatment.
Okay.
So our plan in that regard is to go back and meet with our MP and our MHA again and see where do we go with that particular application
Okay.
to make it work.
Okay, I know I have a little bit of time. So it was a water treatment plant for what? You have a
North
water
Pond.
treatment plant?
For
Pardon
North
me?
Pond.
For North Pond.
North Pond, yeah.
Okay, then I just have one other question. It sounds like to me you're talking as if it's a done thing. Were you told that you'll probably get the funding or?
It's not a done thing, but our MHA had met with the department officials, and they say that this particular project will fit under this from the provincial perspective,
Okay,
so that it still has to get sent to the federal government for final approval.
okay. Okay, and what's the town's portion of the payment? for
1/3.
this?
It's 1/3, 1/3, 1/3.
And last question, can I please have a copy of the report from Clooney that you discussed at this meeting? So it should be tabled then, the email about the study, the quick study that he did to find out what was happening. Could I get that somehow?
That's the pedestrian safety study, so that should already be on our website, but
I thought,
I can,
no, you guys were talking about an email. You said you sent him out to find out what would be the best thing to do right now, and he went out and came back to you, and it
Well,
sounds like,
That was-
The motion was in the email.
Oh.
He went and did his work and suggested the areas which would.
oh, okay, so
would
there was,
fit.
I thought he may have had some descriptions about why, like maybe the road is crumbling over by,
no, there was
or,
no.
Nothing like that.
Nothing like that?
The sidewalk plans, which have been ongoing throughout this term of council.
okay,
That's based on a master plan on one side, so those estimates are part of the pedestrian safety study.
okay. And he felt that you could get more sidewalks built using these two areas just because of what they involve. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, well, the cost associated with each section was in that study that Harborside did.
Oh, okay,
I think,
okay,
was
thank
it?
you. Is that right?
Yeah,
Thanks very much.
all right,
Just a quick comment.
all right.
I've only lived in Torbay for 10 years. I grew up swimming in Wadeaway Pond, and I've never been prouder to live in Torbay as I am tonight. This obviously is not a done deal, but it's as far as I've ever seen it get in the last 10 years, so I'm very, very hopeful, and I appreciate all your guys' work in making it happen. I know everybody has different priorities on council, and they're all great priorities, but this is great to see this happen this evening, and I appreciate all you guys voting yes on the motion. Thanks.
Thank you. And that is it. And with that, I will request a motion, please.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you.